not all efforts are the same. Not all hype is the right kind of help. Let's ask the former acting director of ICE under Obama, John Sandweg, and retired ICE and HSI supervisory special agent, Victor Avila. And yeah, I got guys from 2 different administrations who did the same kind of job. Why? Because that's how you get full perspective. Good to see you both, gentlemen. Mr. Avila, you get my concern, right? Nobody's going to argue, unless they're a fool or a politician, that someone who's not here legally, who is charged with a crime that's very violent, let's leave him alone. Nobody's going to say that. But I am concerned that they're not giving us detailed breakdowns of who the people are, who they're grabbing. My suspicion is it's a lot easier to grab non-violent criminal illegal entrants than it is to find the real bad guys, and that's why the numbers aren't being broken down. What's your perspective?
One, it's not really that it's easier, Chris. It's that they have been saying that if there's individuals, they be calling them collaterals, happen to be near or in the vicinity of the targeted individual that does have a criminal history, that is the major difference now, is that they are also going to be detained. Under the Obama administration, under the Biden administration, that was one that they didn't consider a person to be, they said, Alejandro Mayorkas said, leave those alone that are in the country and only illegally don't have any criminal history. That is a major difference here. President Trump, Holman, and others have said they are going to pick them up, even though they're not focused on them. If they happen to encounter them, they're not going to have that discretion, and that protection no longer is going to exist. And that's why you see some of these mixed in there with some of the targeted individuals. Now, really quick, on Guantanamo Bay, you're going to see, and you and I talked about this, criminal illegal aliens that are dealing with and financing terrorist organizations that are now called the Sinaloa Cartel, the Cartel Jalisco New Generation. They are now dealing with and interacting with a terrorist organization. We're going to have, we need a place to take them to. This is not the same thing. This is where we need to send the message to these individuals that that's not going to be tolerated. And that's how you start dismantling them from that level.
Hey, amen, amen. I'm here for it. I'm more than willing to go and watch it in person. I'm not talking one of these Dr. Phil photo ops where, where I'm like interviewing people on the street. I don't want that. I don't need the pageantry. I want to go there and see the real bad guys who are getting brought down and what it takes so that we can show respect to the agents who have to do that kind of job. And I have no problem keeping them. John, my concern is twofold. One, that I don't know what the ratio of these bad guys is to these other guys that I'm not as concerned about. I get that it's a policy difference. That's fine. The voters could decide that. But the emphasis that these raids are going to be the answer, I don't believe it. I think the answer is going to be getting Congress to give the legislative changes on the rules of entry and the resources that the people at CBP have been asking for in the southern border, and the home country arrangements to get more processing done there. Isn't that the real thing that'll make a difference? It's just harder than these raids.
Yeah, Chris, you can't enforce your way out of this. You can't just do raids and solve the immigration problem in this country. It's complex. There are workers, there are employers, rather, who need workers in this country. We do need a comprehensive solution. I know it sounds like a cliche in Washington, and I hate even saying it, but it's the truth. This is an integrated system, and you have to address all facets of it in order to solve it. Look, I think that going out there and doing these types of raids and getting bad guys off the streets, as we've seen, there have been some real bad guys taken off the streets. We did these operations extensively during the Obama years. I can't, argue against that. I certainly applaud it. And the men and women of ICE do a difficult job with great courage in doing this. But we also need to see the data and look at the resources dedicated to the operations and how many of these are non-criminals. But Chris, you'll never hear me argue about saying getting a convicted sex offender is also in the country unlawfully off the streets. That's the kind of work we need to applaud and celebrate ICE and the agents who do that tough work every day for doing.
So let's do this, fellas. As we get more numbers and we get more perspective, let's keep meeting and keep discussing this, okay? Because, everybody can say they're on the same page, but it's about who you grab and then what Congress decides to do. And right now, there are too many who are happy to sit back and just criticize the effort and instead of the outcomes and creating better outcomes. I don't count you guys among them. You guys did the jobs and you did it for the right reasons. John Sandweg, thank you very much. Victor Avila, always a pleasure and to be continued. Thank you both very much. Hey, thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your screen. And don't forget, click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.